The desert night was still, a serene calmness enveloping the vast expanse of sand and rock. The stars twinkled above, indifferent to the fate that was about to befall the cities below. The air, thick with the scent of sulfur, hung heavy over the cities of the plain. It was an ominous sign, a prelude to the devastation that was to come. Sodom and Gomorrah, bastions of wealth and indulgence, slumbered, unaware of the inferno that awaited them. Their streets, once bustling with life and opulence, now lay silent under the cloak of night. From the heavens the Lord rained down fire and brimstone. The sky, once a canvas of stars, transformed into a harbinger of doom as fiery meteors descended upon the unsuspecting cities. It was a terrifying display of divine wrath, a cataclysmic event that would be etched into the annals of history. The flames consumed everything in their path, leaving nothing but ashes and despair. The earth trembled. Buildings crumbled. The very foundation of these cities, built on sin and excess, were shaken to their core. The cries of the wicked echoed through the smoke-filled air, a chilling testament to the cost of their sins. Panic and chaos reigned as the inhabitants faced the full force of divine retribution. The story of Sodom and Gomorrah is one of the most powerful tales of destruction in human history. It serves as a grim reminder of the consequences of moral decay and unchecked indulgence. It is a stark warning passed down through generations of the consequences of straying from the path of righteousness. The lessons from this ancient tale resonate even today, urging us to reflect on our own actions and choices. But is it merely an ancient story? A relic of a bygone era meant to instill fear and obedience? Or does it hold a chilling relevance for us today? As we witness modern-day disasters and reflect on our own societal values, the tale of Sodom and Gomorrah challenges us to consider the potential consequences of our collective actions. The sins of Sodom and Gomorrah were legendary, etched into the annals of history as a testament to human depravity. The inhabitants, consumed by pride and greed, had turned their backs on the covenant with God. They reveled in their own self-importance, believing themselves to be above divine law. They indulged in every excess, their hearts hardened against the plight of the poor and the pleas of the righteous. The cries of the needy fell on deaf ears as the wealthy flaunted their opulence. Their wickedness knew no bounds. Sexual immorality was rampant, a perverse mockery of God's gift of love. Festivals turned into orgies, and the sacred was profaned without a second thought. Hospitality, a sacred duty in the ancient world, was twisted into a weapon. Instead of welcoming the stranger, they sought to exploit and harm those who sought refuge. Strangers were met not with kindness, but with suspicion and malice. The city had become a place where trust was a rare commodity, and fear ruled the hearts of many. The cries of the oppressed reached the heavens, a symphony of suffering that could no longer be ignored. The weight of their collective pain was a burden too great to bear. Sodom and Gomorrah had become a festering wound, a blight upon the earth that God, in his infinite wisdom, could not allow to stand. The cities were destined for divine retribution, a cleansing fire to purge the world of their iniquity. The destruction of Sodom and Gomorrah was swift and absolute. These cities, once thriving centers of commerce and culture, were obliterated in a matter of moments. Fire, a symbol of God's purifying wrath, consumed everything in its path. The inferno raged with an intensity that left nothing untouched, turning lush landscapes into barren wastelands. The cities, once bustling with life, were reduced to smoldering ruins. Streets that echoed with the sounds of daily life were now silent, filled only with the crackling of dying embers. The fate of their inhabitants served as a stark reminder that there are consequences for defying the divine will. The once proud structures now stood as ghostly reminders of a civilization that had lost its way. The stench of sulfur lingered in the air, a pungent reminder of God's judgment. The acrid smell permeated everything, a constant presence that could not be ignored. The story of Sodom and Gomorrah is not just a tale of destruction, however. It is a narrative that also speaks of the possibility of redemption and the enduring power of faith. It is also a story of redemption. Amidst the ashes, there was a glimmer of hope, a chance for renewal and a new beginning. Lot, a righteous man who had sought to live a godly life amidst the depravity, was spared. His unwavering faith and adherence to divine principles set him apart. He and his daughters, warned by angels, fled the city before the firestorm began. Their escape was a testament to the power of divine intervention and the importance of heeding warnings. Their survival offered a glimmer of hope amidst the devastation. In the midst of such overwhelming loss, their story provided a beacon of light. Even in the face of unimaginable destruction, God's mercy could still be found. It served as a reminder that no matter how dire the circumstances, there is always a possibility for grace and redemption. Fast forward millennia, January 2025. The skies above California, once a vibrant blue, are choked with smoke. Wildfires rage across the state, fueled by drought and high winds. Homes are reduced to ash. Lives are lost. The scenes of devastation are eerily reminiscent of another time, another place. Is it merely a coincidence, or could these fires be a sign, a warning from above? California, the Golden State, a land of opportunity and promise, now faces a reckoning. As flames consume its forests and threaten its cities, we are forced to ask ourselves, have we, like the inhabitants of Sodom and Gomorrah, strayed too far from the path of righteousness? California, for all its beauty and prosperity, is not without its flaws. Its embrace of secularism and progressive ideals has led some to argue that it has turned its back on God. The state's legalization of same-sex marriage, its acceptance of abortion, and its promotion of alternative lifestyles are seen by some as signs of its moral decay. Materialism, too, has taken root in California. The pursuit of wealth and status has become an obsession for many, leaving little room for spiritual growth or compassion for the less fortunate. The gap between rich and poor widens, a stark reminder of the social inequalities that plague our modern world. Could the California fires of 2025 be seen as a form of divine judgment? Some believe so. They see the fires as a sign of God's displeasure with the state's embrace of sin. They point to the timing of the fires coming at a time of great moral upheaval as further evidence of their divine origin. Others dismiss such claims as absurd. They argue that the fires are a natural disaster, a consequence of climate change and poor forest management. They warn against attributing human motives to natural phenomena. Whether or not one believes that the California fires are a form of divine judgment, there is no denying that they offer a powerful opportunity for reflection. The story of Sodom and Gomorrah, though thousands of years old, still resonates today. It reminds us that our actions have consequences and that there is a price to be paid for turning away from righteousness. As we survey the damage caused by the fires, let us not just rebuild homes and businesses, but also rebuild our lives on a foundation of morality and compassion. Let us heed the lessons of the past and strive to create a world that is more just, more equitable, and more pleasing in the eyes of God.